Amazing. Let's jump into some questions.
Go for it.
So for everybody listening, if you did submit a question, I got quite a few. I'm just going to bunch them up into, say, a theme or a question. So obviously we'll go into footwear.
Yep.
So orthotics, should they be used? Like, when should people, like, how should people think about orthotics?
So orthotics are a tool. They're like an exercise, like a tool, basically. So similar like an ankle brace, similar like a crutch. So there'll be different things for different people, but they basically work by redistributing load, pretty much. So they realign some stuff and shift things around. So some people are very dependent on their orthotics, as I said, and that is okay for some. Some people are wanting to transition away from them. There's no right and wrong. I guess it's just meeting people where they're at, I guess. So
similar to knee braces. Knee braces are big for me, like obviously being a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Again, they have their time and place.
Yeah.
You should use them when you need them.
Yeah.
But there's some people that can't train without them.
Yeah, and I think that's a problem. So, and it's like anything like that. The more you use it, the more dependent you will become on it, because your foot essentially is doing less of that function. So if the function has been lost permanently, an orthotic may be necessary to be there and stay there. If it's just something that we're avoiding doing because it's hard, probably not a great idea to put it there and keep it there, is my opinion.
I always get my clients to mind their language, and I've been having this conversation about wants and needs a lot at the moment. If you need that orthotics or you need that knee brace, then you're relying on it. Like your body's strong.
Yeah.
You should want it when you need it,
Yeah.
but wanting it when you need it's completely different than needing it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I need that knee
dependency.
brace to exercise. That's an issue.
That 100%.
But if you want that knee brace during the squats in the workout,
in a certain movement,
that's okay.
Exactly. That's less. It's so much less. Like that kind of reliance. That stresses me. That feeling you're held prisoner. This thing's got this power over you.
Yeah. If you don't have it, you need to walk somewhere. What do you do? Just not walk?
You're gonna panic.
Yeah.
You're gonna freak out.
Yeah.
So that's not great. My goal as a therapist is to enable people to get off that mindset and that need as much as possible.
Yeah, because it doesn't only strengthen that foot, it strengthens their mind and their capability as well.
To know that you can.
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah. Absolutely.
So obviously that's going to transition into footwear. Got a lot of questions around shoes and running. And so again, I'm just going to bunch that up into how should people think about barefoot shoes?
So barefoot shoes is basically, it's paring back your foot and letting it function as naturally as possible. So you should do it gradually is my advice. As a bare minimum, you should start off by going into a wider toe box or like a foot-shaped shoe. So what is it like a barefoot shoe? They're flat, flexible, and foot-shaped. They're sort of like the 3 Fs as a bare minimum. So at the very minimum, you start off foot-shaped, wider toe box. Start engaging what we call toe splay, the ability to actually splay out your toes, use your toes, feel your toes. And then if you're really good with that, you can start tapering down on the amount of cushioning, so going on a thinner sole. And again, time and place. You might have, one shoe that's thinner, another one that's slightly, more cushioned. But yeah, a functional shoe is one exactly that. It actually relies on your foot to do the work. It's less. It's going to interfere a lot less with your function, right? Whereas a technical shoe will have a lot more influence over how you move and what you feel. A minimalist shoe is exactly that. It is less, so therefore your foot does more. So the more the shoe does, the less your foot and body are going to do, the less you're going to feel. The less the shoe does, we pay it back on the shoe. You have more interaction, more feedback, more movement, more demand on the foot and the body. And so you have to balance that out with what your capability is, because like I said, the demand of your body increases the less the shoe does. So it's not for everyone this amazing feeling of, oh, I feel fantastic. I feel fatigued. I feel tired. I feel this. I feel that. You need to increase your capacity. Yeah.
I will ask this question just in case we've missed anything with that.
Mm-hmm.
So what should we actually look for when buying everyday shoes or runners?
Okay. So an everyday shoe, like a barefoot shoe, do you mean? Or just anything?
That's the question.
So bare minimum, like I said, foot shaped, at least be able to splay your toes. So anything, and my big tip is for this, take the damn insole of the shoe out.
Oh, yes, love
Take
that.
the insole
I do that
out,
every
right?
time. Yeah.
And actually look at what your foot is having to contour to, right? Because this thing about, they're wide here. Most shoes are widest when they do width in a traditional shoe. It's across like your first metatarsal to the fifth, like across there. And then it tapers, right? That tapering is taking out your big toe, right? As a bare minimum, it's actually taking out the little toe sometimes as well. So take the insole out, stand on that inner sole, see if your big toe is pointing straight ahead. And if the shoe allows it to. If it doesn't allow it to point straight ahead, get rid of it.
So that's for runners as well, yeah?
Absolutely. Because running is like you're pushing off, especially if you're a forefoot striker, you're pushing off from those toes. If that toe is not pointing front on, you're missing out on a lot of stability, you're missing out on a lot of power, right? So absolutely, yeah. So foot shaped as a bare minimum. The rest of the stuff, it depends again on what your needs are. If you can handle less cushioning, go less cushioning, especially for an everyday stuff. You don't need to be detached from the ground. In fact, the more you feel, the more balanced you're going to be, the more feedback you're going to get. There's a lot of stuff that I've been looking into now that says, stuff with pelvic floor. Pelvic floor. It's like it needs that feedback from the foot. It starts at the foot, right? So less is more. That's my thing. So go less if you can and just meet yourself at the bare minimum of where you need to be. And if you have an orthotic and you need to transition into, go into a shoe that's got a foot-shaped front, less cushioning, and put your orthotic in it. Start with that. Do that for a couple of weeks. Do that for a month. Start working on building up some strength. Start going small periods of time without the orthotic. An afternoon, a walk, a morning, a here or there. And then just go from there.
Yeah, so again, that sort of covered one of the other questions with all the toe spacers and the foot accessories now.
Yep.
How should we look at those?
So I know toe spacers, I see them all the time on social media, and I don't, and I have clients that wear them all the time. I'm not a fan of people that wear them all the time because I also feel that they also become like a dependency thing. I far prefer my clients to be able to actively splay their toes, like use your muscles to splay, because that's also like quite a lazy thing. If you've got a device that's doing it for you. So I use them and I recommend them for people when we're doing barefoot stuff to start to engage toe space. So if I've got someone that's got a bunion, for example, and their big toes like way over here, and I'm trying to get them to balance, and their balance is shocking because their big toes just not where it's supposed to be, they can be really helpful to just try to start to engage that toe splay. They can also be helpful to start to get some of those ligaments and muscles, in between the toes to start to splay out. So my recommendation is use them for short periods of time as an exercising or an assistance tool. Don't wear them all day, every day, because I think, again, it just creates this, my toes are going, I don't have to actively splay. You want to be able to splay them. You want to be able to contract them. You want to be able to, you choose what you need this foot to do and when you need to do it. You need to be responsive. That's what I think.
Yeah, just as you're saying that, I guess the analogy for me, when I have somebody with tight shoulders, we loosen everything off, we stretch it out, we use the rollers, balls, all that sort of stuff, loosen off all the muscles, but then you need to build strength in that new range.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you're just going to tighten up again.
Yeah.
So same thing with your
Same
feet.
sort of thing, yeah. So if you're wearing it like, you got something to pull it back all the time and you left it there, what's it going to clue the brain to do? It's just be like, I don't need to actively do this.
Yeah.
Right? So toe spacers, in my opinion, I know people use them, they love them. I think they've got a time and they've got a place. I would warn against having them and wearing them all the time.
Yep. And that would be the same for the things like the rollers and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
like where do
rollers are
they
good.
come into it?
You use so rollers are a great thing to, again, increase blood flow, tension release. They're all very helpful. In fact, there's a lot of evidence to say that actually just spending 5 or 10 minutes a day just rolling a ball or something like that can increase activation of your muscles, increase awareness. So that's good. I do recommend that people do that at the start of a day or at the end or before they're exercising, especially for the foot, because it's like for some people it's quite hard to kind of access some of those muscles. So spending a couple of minutes doing that to start with, rolling it out, just helps you go, oh, okay, that's where it is. The brain goes, yeah, I can do that a bit better now. I can feel it now, yeah. So no, they're definitely got their place, yeah. But you can get bogged down. There's a lot of stuff that's around, and sometimes it can just be, what do I need? And I have a lot of people that buy this stuff and they get so overwhelmed with it, then they don't actually start using it because they don't know what to do. Yeah. You can overcomplicate it.
Toe socks?
Toe socks I love, and why I love them, because every time people see my socks, they always get a question. People are like, oh, they're weird. Is it a choice? So I love them. Like, obviously my shoes don't squash my feet, so I don't do that to... There's this notion that they separate your toes. Well, they don't really. I mean, it's just fabric, so I'm not relying on them to separate my toes. I do it, and they can be good for blisters. I don't get blisters either, though. So I do it because it reinforces the concept that your toes are individual and they're dexterous. So much like your fingers, right? So, you can have those gloves that group it all together and they're using one unit, or individually. So I like to think of my toes as these very highly functional, highly dexterous things that need to be separate, because they can be, and I can move them separately. So that to me reinforces. So that's what I do it.
Great analogy, the mitts compared to the gloves.
Yeah, it's just like, is it this or is it this? Yeah. And it's like, it's this. So I want it to be this. I want to reinforce that idea. I want to reinforce that concept, and and that just works to me because I look at it, I see it, and it works well with what I'm trying to achieve with my shoes. It all just kind of aligns for me.
I feel like we covered this one. How do weak feet affect the rest of our body, ankles, knees, hips, posture?
Hugely. It's kind of the basis, yeah. So the body, again, will compensate for it, but it will... And everyone's compensation is unique. There's certain compensation patterns that are kind of textbook, but it absolutely impacts, because if you can't achieve stability from the foot, it's going to just send it to the next joint. Quite often, as I said earlier, the hip is a big culprit, and it'll send a lot of its compensation to the foot. If the foot is then weak, the knee's stuck in the middle. It's like stuck between a weak foot and an ankle and a hip that's not really moving up. This poor knee. Yeah. There's this kind of hinge joint that just, so things happen. It affects it in so many ways, and other things as well, your pelvic floor and everything. And
like you've been saying, you shouldn't be looking at just the one joint. Like, they're all connected.
They're all connected, yeah. The body is one. This naive notion that we can just look at that and fix that and just that, and it doesn't have a flow-on effect. It'd be so easy to be a therapist. Because we're like, oh, that's it. We'll just fix that. We're done.
Yeah.
It's like people. We're so complex. It's so multifactorial, so many multi-layered. It's, yeah.
I like this one. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's going to be easy to answer. Is foot pain normal? A normal part of getting older, or is that a myth?
Okay, so arthritis is a really common thing we see, especially in the forefoot. So that can create, and when I say it's a normal thing, it's a common thing, and that can create a lot of pain. Why in the forefoot? I think it's just because of A, where it is, and B, how many bones are in it, right? So, and again, alignment comes into it. Most of us are not aligned correctly. We're not loading properly. So all those little joints in there tend to knock into each other. The cartilage wears out. You get a lot of forefoot pain. I'm not sure if it's normal. I think there's ways to age well. And I think if we age well, then foot pain shouldn't be a thing, to be honest. I think there has to be a pathology, I think, to have pain.
Yeah. I think that's just a body thing as well. Like, you're going to have aches and pains as you get older, joints deteriorate, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But if you've got strong muscles around the joints, it's going to help.
Yeah. So I see people that have midfoot arthritis, again, it depends on the degree. But my message to them is, if your joints are deteriorating, what is there left to support your foot, right?
Yeah,
it's your muscles.
Yeah.
And so let's work on that to keep them strong, because the fear is that when we get pain, we're using something, the joint deteriorates, then the musculature around it deteriorates. Where are we getting movement from? Where are we getting support from? Nowhere. And then we start loading the other side. And so I think maybe a degree of some deterioration is to be expected, but I don't know that persistent pain shouldn't be a thing. I don't think so. I plan on having none as I get older.
I don't know if you've probably seen my walk as we got in, and I've just got all sorts. My body hates me at the moment.
Really?
I've got plantar fasciitis in one side.
How did you not tell me that right at the
Yeah,
start?
I sort of wanted to hide it. And
should have opened with that.
I've got like back issues happening on the other side, and I just feel like I've forgotten how to walk properly.
Oh, so we're sorry having a conversation off this. Yeah.
Maybe we should leave it on so it's like people can understand a bit more.
Totally, yeah. Calf raises.
Yeah.
Calf raises with your toes in the flex position.
Yeah. So all right, let's dive into it. So I've torn the outside ligament of my ankle that many times.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's basically non-existent,
Yep.
or it's super stretched.
Yeah, okay.
So I started running and my foot was rolling internally as I was running.
Yep.
So that's caused the pain.
Okay.
And obviously being a male, I'm like, nah, it'll go away. 2 months later, it was just getting worse and I could hardly walk. So it's on the mend.
So is it plantar fasciitis in that side or on the other side?
On that side.
On that side too, okay.
So my calf.
Yeah.
Oh, like I should have walked, like if I could, I'll try and roll my pants up and show you my calves. So the definition in my calves are just completely different.
So gastrocnemius,
yeah,
medial lateral.
Yeah, so one on the side where I've got the plantar fasciitis, it's just it's noticeably smaller than the other side.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And if you're running, one of the biggest weaknesses that runners have, and they don't address it, is your soleus muscle, right? So, and you know that's best trained with your knee bent. Yeah. So
seated calf raises.
Yep.
And look, to be honest, I was one of those people that thought I was all over my training.
Yeah.
And being a personal trainer.
It's a great equaliser, isn't it, when you get injured and you're just like, I thought I was all over this, and you always feel insulted and embarrassed. You're like, oh, how could this be happening? I thought I was like so good. But I think sometimes we need that too to bring us back down to...
But that's the whole thing. And like I was saying before, like, yeah, I've got an injury, but it doesn't stop me from training. Yeah, I still move.
It's really humbling, and you'll learn stuff from it as well. You'll actually learn, yeah.
And if you learn right and do all the right things, it's not going to happen again, and you're stronger.
And you'll be better for all the people that get to see you after that.
Yeah, so injuries are a good thing in a way because it helps you overcome and learn and evolve.
Totally. And running's really tough. Like, a lot of us think we can run just because we can run. But the analogy I always use is like breathing. We all breathe because we're alive. But then if you've ever looked into breath work, man, that stuff can be complicated. And I really struggled. Like, I did a breathwork thing a while ago, and it was like a starter one, and I was like, well, I would not have been able to do a harder one. The minute they start talking about, here and there and there and the balloon, and I'm like, whoa. So running is like that, I think, because there is running with a very balanced, good technique, which is what I think ideally we need to not get injured. The reality is that's not the perfect world. We all have our unique way of doing things. We have inherent imbalances in our body. We have techniques that are probably less than ideal. We're not robots. So injury, unfortunately, is part of it. Unless we have this, like I said, this perfect technique and someone analysing it and, critiquing every little thing and, making sure that every segment is perfectly, doing what it's meant to do, when it's meant to do it. It's tough.
But also, again, trying to achieve things that are tough and pushing your body is fun.
It's part of the thing, isn't it? To know that you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, a lot of people, I'm never going to run a marathon. I've got no interest in running a marathon. I've come close one day just for fun.
Yeah.
There's no way I'm ever going to do it. 5Ks is probably enough for me. I'll ever do.
Yeah.
And I've got no interest in it, but I've got clients who want to do that. And again, they're the clients, I can't get injured. I'm like, look, that's worth chasing. Like,
Yeah.
figure out your why.
Yeah.
You're going to get injured a long way, but
Yeah, it's not going to be the end of it though.
No.
So you just got to, just developing that little bit of resilient mindset to go, okay, if I do, it's a bit of a setback, not ideal, but how do we get around this? Yeah.
so still on my plantar fasciitis,
Yeah.
you mentioned that orthotics was a way to help or prevent.
So years ago, if you'd seen me 10 years ago, you came into me, so I got plantar fasciitis, I would have been thinking orthotics straight up.
Yeah,
I would have looked at your foot and gone, right, okay, this foot's doing this one's doing this, we need to control this back there. So it's typically, we'd put you in an orthotic, the idea being
So
that
if my foot was rolling in, the orthotic would stop that.
Yeah, so it would. So there was all these measurements we used to do. It's crazy. I don't even know if students still do it. It's just nuts. We used to do like what's called a dissection of the calcaneus, like the rear foot, and we'd kind of try to get this midline in it, and then we'd look at you standing, and we'd look at the angle, and if it went beyond a certain angle that we deemed, normal, our aim was then to correct you back so you're functioning around a narrower range of motion. So you're basically kind of pronating in a certain degree, but not beyond. And then you're able to supinate back out. So invert and evert, back out and in, and just keeping you in that range. So if you look at an orthotic, most of them, if it's a rear foot device, they're angled at the back. And the idea is almost like a wedging effect on the heel. So it prevents the heel from rolling in beyond that point. Well, at least that's what it's meant to do. And then, of course, it has the arch contour as well, which prevents sort of your midfoot from rolling in beyond that point as well. So the idea, I think, with that was that when you pronate or you roll in, your plantar fascia or all of the plantar aspect of your foot elongates, right? It kind of flattens out and your foot lengthens. When your foot's in the higher position, you're sort of like that, it shortens, right? So it's trying to kind of, I guess, remove strain from the fascia by not allowing it to elongate to that point. That was pretty much the...
So what's your advice now?
Strengthen it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, absolutely strengthen it. Yeah. Because, having that in there is not going to strengthen anything. And it will come back. And this is what happens. People, it just, I had it years ago, I did this. And again, if you've gone down that orthotic path where you're 100% dependent on them and you've got the shoes and you've got the everything and then your foot gets weaker, because I've seen this play out 1,000 times, you'll go to a podiatrist that will go, okay, they'll either make you another set of orthotics or they'll start doing shockwave therapy, or you'll go to a GP and they'll bang a cortisone injection into it. And invariably that thing will not go away. Well, it will for a short time. Sometimes it doesn't at all. You're not addressing the cause.
No.
So one of the best things you can do for your plantar fascia, you're already doing half of it, which is put yourself into a functional shoe that's got a foot-shaped toe box, because it'll allow blood flow into the area. So constricting your toes is reducing the blood flow. That's never good for the fascia. And strengthen it. But strengthen it in the with your toes flexed, right? It puts a lot more strain on it, because that's what you're trying to do when you're toeing off, right? So it's got a mimicking that toeing off. Doing that slowly, single leg, you want to do 15 or 20 of those single leg 3 sets, and then you want to load. You want to do that progressively, load training it for 3 months around about. If you're running, you need to be able to do at least up to, I think, is it 3 times your body weight or something, at least, if not more.
Yeah, I heard that. That's crazy.
Yeah, because there's a lot of load going through, right? I mean, if it's your Achilles, it's even more, I think, because it's like a spring. But you've got to do progressive load training.
Yeah, of course.
And, I've had even older people that, they say, I can't. They can, and they do. You meet them where they're at, so whether they're seated, whether it's 2 legs, not doing it on 2 feet. It's that's one of the big ones. Your perineals are another thing, and your toe strength's another thing as well. So have you seen when you can use a resistance band underneath your 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th toe, and you're lifting your toes and then you're pushing down against a band? You seen those ones?
No.
Oh,
we're going to have to do a video.
We're going to do it.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So that's a big one for your fascia. Yeah, that one, and your perineal. So the outer ankle, which is probably where you've done the majority of your damage, because if you've done persistent damage to those, no one ever really rehabs well off those. So that's probably a lot of where you've got weakness. So doing, again, resistance band with those movements.
Yeah, I've been doing those ones.
Yeah,
Yep.
good. That's golden. That's really good. So I'd say those 3 things are your big things. You're already doing the footwear, so.
I have to admit, like after being on a day, like, as you know, like plantar fasciitis, on it all day, it gets
Very sore.
Yeah. But putting the toe spaces in at night,
Helps, yeah.
it's almost like it just relieves.
So yeah, it's
crazy.
it's opening out those channels and increasing that blood flow, I'd say is what that is.
Although I've got like the toe, wide shoes, toe socks.
But you got to activate it. So I have so many people in like wide toe things and their foot's like this. It's still in that, shape that it was in their previous shoes. You've got to kind of actively think about opening those toes out, splay them.
I feel like
We've done it.
we've smashed it. We sort of maybe one more about you.
Yeah.
Like what motivates you on a hard day to keep going and do what you do?
Okay, on a hard day. I think getting through, knowing that if I get up and do it, I'm going to feel better. I think I know, like if I do go to work and I get good feedback, then I'm like, yeah, okay, good. That's what motivates me. It's knowing that I achieved something far more rewarding than I would have if I had just given in to the fact that, I don't feel good today. No, I can't do this. I think I've done enough of those, gotten through enough of those days, and there's always a point in one of those days where someone will say, oh, I'm so glad I got to see you today, or thank you so much, or that, feel, and I think, okay, I did good. And that's a far better feeling than if I'd, potted around at home and, felt sorry for myself or something, which I guess, we have moments. But yeah, it's just knowing that I got something good to offer. And if I do it, I'm going to feel better about myself.
I like how you always refer back and look for the evidence to prove how you're thinking. That's
benefit of age.
Yeah. It's a good habit to have. All right.
I guess so.
One last one. Sorry.
Yes.
I usually ask every guest this.
Yeah.
If you could get every single human on planet Earth to do one thing, like a practical thing, it's not just sit there and think about something, but they have to actively do one thing every single day.
Yeah.
Every single person.
Yeah.
What would you get them to do?
Gratitude.
How?
Just find one thing in their day that they're grateful for.
Love that.
That's it. Just be grateful for one thing every day. If you could just find one, even in the worst of times, if you find one thing that you can be grateful for, I think,
Definitely.
That's what I try to do.
Perfect. Helen, thanks again for coming on the podcast.
Thank you so much. It's been amazing.